Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Broston County, where we are once again joining Destin as he begins building some more in the city. He spent, he only had about 25 minutes again this time around. We're speeding up the footage, it's slowly ramped up. So, it's a nice subtle effect. And he's laying out some roads back in behind our existing development. Looks like he decided to try to mirror the grid that was already there. Notes from Destin this week say that he added in a library, and you'll see that go in a minute. I already see one library, so maybe we already missed it, or maybe another one's coming. But he added in a library and some fire, police, and health coverage as well. I believe that's into the area that he's building right now. He did get the population up to just under 29,000, and worked on keeping the city walkable by adding in paths. He does add a road in, and we're about to see it here in a second, I believe. Yeah, he added this road in from the highway interchange, and he made a note that I could change it if I wanted to, and I might, and we'll talk about why in just a second. Actually, that's about all the notes that he really had. I'm not sure how I feel about a collector just dead ending like that, especially when there's another collector just below it. You can see it there kind of towards the right of the screen, and then there's a collector right above. I may make a little bit of an edit to his neighborhood. I hadn't realized he had put that you can change it if you want note in there, and I might. I just don't know how I feel about the collectors being separated. Though looking at it from this angle, even though we're in water pipes here, I'm not really sure how I would be able to maybe correct that. But maybe I could tee in what he added into the other collector. I just don't like that they don't line up. In one place you have a collector going down a collector to another collector, and that's fine. But then the one that just dead ends, what's going to happen, I'm afraid, since it's coming off that highway, is we're going to have a local road pulling duty, and that one right there that you can see where it dead ends, that will have that road pulling double duty, and I don't think that would be a good thing for us to have. So we may change that, but it won't happen anytime soon. I have recorded 3 total videos, so this one as well as 2 others, it'll be just me and the other 2, just to get us ahead pretty far in the series, because I'm hoping to get Destin to record a bit more than he has. I really want more of influence in the city from him than from me. Right now, the city really has a lot of my build and not as much as his. And I think we could definitely do well to change that. But he's just going to finish in some zoning here, and as things slow back down in just a second, we will get transitioned over to my build. But I'll just let you watch for a moment as Destin wraps up his portion. And as we move into my portion of the build, I just wanted to kind of take a moment and look at what Destin has built over here across a couple phases, and look at how it's all starting to come together just from a slightly different angle than we normally look at it. And I think what's really cool is, we've got just a really rigid grid that started to break up here, and even somewhat with the school. Yeah, it's grid-ish, but it doesn't follow a hard set grid like we did here. But then we had the curve to be able to bring in this connection to the highway, and this collector is curving out, and we'll eventually connect to what I believe is going to be a forestry industry over in this direction, though who knows. We've got a lot to think about. But I kind of like the way his addition kind of follows a different lean. I wanted this to feel like a little bit more organic line as well, to get away from the original gridded area that the town started with. And I just kind of like the flow of all this. I'm not sure how I feel about I just don't know that we need a collector there, and back here for this whole area. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. This one especially, I'm not sure how I feel about it. It doesn't seem like it's really servicing all that much. But I like the look of it. You know, the application of it, I may have a little bit of a question about, but I really, really like the look of it quite a bit. And it looks like we also need to extend some bus lines, but that'll come at a later time. But yeah, I think Destin's portion of the build is definitely looking fantastic. I am going to once again turn my attention across the river, and we're going to head over here. You can see I've got some things laid out. Cargo harbor port, relocate general industry from there to there. Though I think we're not going to do general industry. I think we're going to do something a bit more specialized. And then I want to bring this key wall here and just kind of square this edge off just a little bit. And bring in a fishing industry up here. But before I do any of that, we do have a couple challenges. One, I don't know that we'll get to today, but the rail through here has to change. If I put a cargo harbor port right here, this line coming in would have no access to it because this line doesn't turn and come back up this way. This line has access to it fine. This line has access to it fine. Granted, we'll need to bring them down because if you remember, the cargo port actually has the rail kind of like out in the front by the ships, so we would need to kind of like bridge from here and jump onto the cargo port. So, but that's easy enough. So somehow I have to get this line and this line easy enough to bring them together into one right here. But we also are going to have to get this line to kind of like come up and around and join in as well. And that's just going to occupy a lot of real estate. And the rail is just such a division point between all of this that it's frustrating. And I don't really see how to bring this in a way that doesn't just take up a ton of land. The only thing I can think of would be to bring a spur off here and have it quickly come to the ground and then go underground and join this and loop back around. But even that's not ideal. But I don't know. The first thing I want to do, though, is pause the game because we are going to do a pretty significant project to get started. And this is, once again, just in the name of access, highway access. We have a connection way down there, but we don't have anything down this way. And I think if we're going to have a significant industry down this way, it would behoove us to not only have a way for the fishing industry to get over here, but also maybe a way for these folks to be able to come down here and join up and then come up and get on the highway instead of having to go all the way down through town and then up and around, or all the way down through town and out that way. And I think we've got the perfect place to do it. Like right here, we've got a nice flat spot, slightly straight section. We could easily just bring that and then bridge it up and go over the highway and the railroad, and then bring that down over there, I think, fairly gracefully. But what I don't like is the way the highway just kind of curves through here. I know that it's following the train for the most part, but it doesn't have to. I'm gonna level a lot of this out, like a lot of it. And what we're gonna do is say that some of this dirt that we've removed from here is gonna wind up getting put over here and right here. Obviously, I've got unlimited soil turned on, so it doesn't really work like that. But that's the lore we're going to go with. So I just wanna. That doesn't look like I selected that height. Okay, I guess I did. There's a little bit of a ridge here by the water. That's where my... Oh, no, there's not a ridge by the water. I'm actually just making the shoreline a little more steep. So I think before I start doing that, the better thing to do would be to figure out where I want my key wall to go. And I just kind of want it to go, like, about there. And then if we need to, we can clean all that up over on the edge. So I think I'm just going to go ahead. Let's get this to come out a little bit more. I know we're now going beyond the edge of that one, though it's a nice square, but maybe we could just go across right there. Nah, because that cuts way too much of that off. I need to bring it out for sure. So I'm going to bring this out to about here. That looks like that's got it. Yeah, that's got it almost perfect. So we're just going to square this edge off. Let's make sure the ship path doesn't go into there, though. That would be tragic. It gets close, but I think we've still got enough separation. And since I've got the network multi-tool, we can easily just change it. So I'm going to switch this to just nodes and then select all of that and bring all of it up to the same elevation as that. We're going to stay paused for just a moment longer. And we are going to start pushing some dirt around because I love playing in dirt. I get distracted by it a lot in this game. And we're going to do that. And then it looks like we've got a couple of segments that are reversed. Not a big deal. Just come into your network multi-tool, grab the invert segment mode, and click them. And that might be the only one. Yeah, we've got a weird hole right there, but I think now that we've fixed this, we can fix that. No? Do we still have an inverted segment there? Possibly. That's why I filled all that in. Yeah, it looks like that might be inverted right there. Let's see. And that took care of that hole. Cool. Awesome. So we turn that off, and now we can grab the elevation that's down here in the water. Bring this back right up nice and flush against the wall. And then come back up here with maybe a smaller brush. I like how I can move the brush or adjust the brush size behind the menu to decrease it, but I can't do it to increase it because you can't grab it. Now, this is not quite at the right elevation. Maybe we grab this and push back. Yeah, that's looking better. Now it's all where I wanted it. Okay, so let's get right around the key wall done. And then we'll do the rest of this and then we'll start some work on a highway project before we get the fishing industry in. There you go. That gets right up against the key wall taken care of. Now let's bring our brush size up. And we are going to bring this elevation all the way back this direction quite a ways. We're going to cut out a lot of this hill here because our new highway is going to go, well, the relocated highway is going to go back in some of this, not this far up, more like it's going to kind of, where this goes into a curve off that direction, we're just going to keep going straight off of this and kind of relocate it to there and then reconnect it. But I want to get this all nice and flat before we start tackling it. And don't worry, I know I'm making this pretty ugly up here right next to the highway. We will fix that before we wrap up today. We will make it look much better. We're going to go ahead and take out a huge hill here. Like I said, this is where we get to use our imagination, that we've used this land to fill in where we've added the key wall extension. And then here I want to be a little more delicate. So let's bring that brush size back down and just follow this terrain line right here at the shore as best as we can without altering the shore too much because I don't want any flooding. This map already has some flooding on it, kind of over where Destin was building. I don't know if he realized that or not, but over here where it looks like floodplains, well, it floods. The map maker did a really good job. The water, especially right here in this bend, the water regularly creeps up and sometimes even floods the railroad. I've not seen it hit this road yet, but I have seen it cause the little flooding icon a couple of times on that area. So we need to let the game run for a minute to let the water chill out. So yeah, there we go. It's going to do that. So I'm going to let it run for just a moment, let the water settle down and get all calm again, and then we'll resume from there. So that big ripple of water made it all the way over here, and now it's just kind of sloshing back and forth underneath the railroad that where we sunk this road. It is. It's just been going back and forth. There it goes again. That'll eventually evaporate. So we can turn our attention back over here, where I'm going to once again pause. And we are going to start this highway project, and it looks like that little segment there is fairly straight. So we're going to sever all of this. This is definitely going to hit the city budget, because this is now a highway we're going to have to pay for. And previously we didn't pay for it. But I think this is necessary. Just to give us some space to work with. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to brush size up, and we're going to move this here all the way back to the railroad. And again, don't worry, we're gonna fix it before we're done. We're gonna make this definitely look better. But what I want to start with is going to here and leveling out this pad and seeing what our difference is. And it's not insubstantial. So I am gonna do a slope. We're gonna grab our highest elevation there. And let's see, where's this road going to want to naturally go now if I go straight to here? I'm going to slope to about here. I think that'll be good, right around in there. So, I don't know if it remembers my point, so I'm going to go from there. And we're just going to do a straight shot up and make a nice, gentle grade for the highway here to come down. And I think that will be lovely. So, wow, my voice just went. We're gonna go to about here-ish. Yeah, that'll work. And then we're going to bring the other side right out and then flip it around. And I just realized Anarchy's on and is causing me all kinds of problems. So we're just gonna waste some money here. There we go, and then put it back to a 3-lane. I don't know that it needs to be a 3-lane out here, honestly, but whatever. And now I just want to get in some sort of interchange, or at least start thinking about where we're going to do interchange. Are we back onto... We're not quite yet on solid or flat ground, though. Let's get all the way down here. Let's look at this. Let's click that and go just a little bit further. There we go. Now we are definitely on flat ground. Just a minute ago, I thought that said Warhol Highway. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's who we're naming highways after. So we need an interchange here. Ideally, I would like to have something that could go that way as well and just connect under the railroad. I mean, since I've already decimated part of this hill, we could just push it back a little bit further and then smooth it out and bring a road up that way. And that is an option, but I think a bridge over makes a little more sense. So we really only need a service interchange that connects to one side, and I really only have one or two in the form of these half clovers that we've already used. Let me look through here and see if I've got anything else that I like. And when all is said and done, I just went with a basic trumpet interchange because it works. We will do some changes to it, though. Namely, I don't think we need double lanes coming across. I'm just going to give this a bit of a diet here. That way, we only have 2 lanes going in each direction, and it'll be easier to get it merged down into... Why are you being on the ground? You need to be in the air. I thought by doing the just auto one it would be fine, but apparently I was mistaken. So let's get all of this upgraded into single lanes for our ramps here, and then we can look at what we have coming in, which is 4 lanes. We don't need that. 3 will be fine, and we only need 3 there, and then that makes this do a funky weird, but that funky weird is fixable. Same here, we don't need 4 lanes, and this needs to only be 3 all through there. Definitely doing the funky weirds on us, but what we do is delete that and then connect this up. Is that pretty much straight? It's pretty much straight. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then here, I just want to fix this little section so it looks a little bit better. And then same down here. Make this look a little bit better. Cool. And then so it's 3 lanes, and we are golden. And then we can work on getting this down here changed and connecting to just a local road of some sort. But we'll get that in a minute. Right now, we need to get this connection reestablished. And to do that, we are just going to come back into here, grab the 3-lane, grab our mod, and we have a couple different options. We can do, where is it? There's create curve, there's create connection, which might work. Because that allows me to have a little bit more control over this, though I've not quite double click on. Yeah, we don't want, that's what we want. There we go. We do want it there, but I can also make it bigger if I remember right. I'm waiting on the tooltip to pop back up. Oh, I had it. Okay, so press tab to switch selected radii. So that makes it bigger. That makes it bigger. I want to make this a pretty big radius so that curves a little more gentle. I think 300 is good there. And then down here on this one, I think all I have to do is click it and then do the same. Nope. Okay, so tab. Okay, cool. I saw the little line change, and I think we'll bring that one to about 300 as well. And I think that'll be fine. It made a tunnel, but I can fix the tunnel. That's not a big deal. That's an easy fix. So then we just need to do that same thing again. But I don't really like how it connected, actually. Never mind. I changed my mind, and I don't like what you've given me. I am entitled to change my mind. It's my prerogative. Okay, so let's try with create curve instead. So from there to there. Yeah, I really don't want this to be tunneled. We're just going to put it on the ground for now. There we go. And then we're going to go from there to there. And then we can make the part a bridge that we need to make a bridge. And we can slope the parts that need to be sloped. Though I'm okay with it kind of cutting through like that. I'm totally okay with that. What I want to check is, are we at the same elevation all the way across? Is that what's happened? Well, there's an easy way to check that. We can just go here, and then, so here we're at 42.24. Here we're at 62. Okay, so no, it did slope down. All right, cool. Cool. So let's get a bridge in where is appropriate. I think that's fine. Maybe a little further that way. And maybe not as far this way. Yeah, okay. One side is going to be a bridge and one side isn't. That's what it looks like. Cool. And then we'll just make this look a little bit better in through here by just softening that up a little bit. That's looking pretty snazzy. And now I can bring all of this back in now that we know where the highway is. And we can also make this a little bit better through here. Not a lot, because the railroad is still just right there. But down through here, we should be able to smooth this out. So I'm going to get all this smoothed out, and then we'll look at our other connection that I want to bring into this area. There you go. I think that's all right. So we can resume and get cars flying all over the place. A little bit of flooding here for a second because we did some things with water, but that'll subside quick enough. So now I want to come up here. I want to grab this, and I want to come off at 90 right here. But that's right, this never wants to go to 90 because it's two highway pieces. So we kind of have to do our own thing. So I want to bring that just out, just a tiny little bit there, and then we can upgrade it to this highway. And now I immediately want to have this start bridging and stay level if I can get away with it. Let's see. Let's turn anarchy off. And I want this to be... I mean, it can slow down, but I'd really like it to just... Why is it doing like it's doing? I don't really know. How do I make it stay level is the question. Toggle straight slope, don't follow terrain shape. Will that help me? I think that might help me a little bit. Well, we wind up really high up there, and we also wind up a little bit farther over this direction than I want. So I think what we'll do is curve it, and I'm just gonna build it with anarchy on. Get it kind of where I want it to be, which is roughly here, I think. Let's look and see where this is coming out in relation to that. So yeah, let's go right about here with it. There we go. And then, oof, that is quite the span, isn't it? But it might just work like that. That might be okay. Let's see what our slopes are like. So from here to here, thank you. Ooh, that is way steeper than I thought it would be. I don't know why I was thinking it would not be that steep. I really don't know why I was thinking that. I'm going to bring this node back up, though. I don't like this indentation. Let me have a think about this and see if there's a better way to get this down here. So I have a basic shape in, so it comes down along the railroad for a little segment and then around and then mostly lined up with that. It's not exact, but mostly lined up. Let's see if we can't get something a little bit better now. You see there, obviously, flat. Up here we have some 10s and 9s, so nothing as bad as a 12. A 5.7? I think I can live with a 5.7. Yeah, I can live with a 5.7. All right, cool. So we've wasted enough time. I'm going to get this connected up to a road that we can bring in into here, and then we're going to get going with a fishing industry. And for better or worse, this is what I've come up with. I don't mind it, actually. And what I'm really surprised by are the number of trucks coming off and using this. I kind of thought that it would be too far away, but it appears as though we have some traffic from the farm going all the way over here, which is kind of nice. We also have some trucks exiting and coming around. Let's take a look at our traffic views here and see who's using this. Yeah, you can see we've got some people exiting here, coming up and around, and for the most part, residential or passenger vehicles just continuing on up here. And then we do have some industry traffic coming over here to our recycling centers and a bit over to the farm. What I'm hoping is that will relieve some of the congestion down our main street here, because now they can just bypass the town if we're going to the farm. They can come up here and follow that road over instead of having to come down through here, go through town, and across that way. This may be just ever so slightly shorter since they have to come so far down. So hopefully they will see that as the better route. Time will tell. Let's look and see, where does our ship path go? It goes there and then also there. Why don't those two connect? It seems strange. I think I would like to bring this out just a little bit farther. So since I have the ability to do that, I'm going to delete it from here all the way back to here. And we're going to bring it out just a little bit farther past that before it starts turning, just to give our fishing boats a little bit of breathing space up here. I'm going to bring this way out like this, and then back down, and then hopefully connect into there nicely. Yeah. So our ships now leave a little bit of space for some fishing boats. All right, let's take a look at the fishing industry and see what we've got. So we had a bit of tuna fishing here, but we kind of ruined that by getting this. So that's fine. But we have really good shellfish mainly, and that's fine because shellfish is one of the bigger fishing harbors that we have. Of course, we don't get it until we've caught 2 million units of fish. So to start with, we're just going to have to do our basic fishing harbor. I am also going to do a fish farm because I would eventually like to get it like a seaweed farm, mainly because the amount of fish that they catch. See, this is 4,800. That's 14,000. And these are, they catch more with these two, even though it doesn't tell you that it does, it catches way more. But we are going to get started here. I'm going to just throw in 3 docks really close to one another, and then hopefully one little fish farm right on the end. That should be fine. And we're going to bring all of those down to the same height as that. And then we're going to connect these up really quick with a bit of road. And I use the industry roads. I will eventually unlock the road that is on the actual fishing buildings, but not yet. There's just not really a need for it yet. We'll get there. We will get there. So I want to bring this over to here. Is that at a 90 to that? Let's... I found... Okay, so that's at a 90 to that. That's at a 90 to that. So I want this... Basically, I'm looking for where this is going to change from a highway into a road. And I think it's going to be right here. Let's go from here. No. It's going to be one of those tricky ones that doesn't want to make a nice curve. So maybe we'll just have to have a slightly askew. That's not going to stay there. But that's going to be where the road transitions. Okay, we will bring this down. Now I want to follow this again to try to keep all this nice and squared off down on this end. So I'm just going to do this here and then come over to here. Actually, this could be how we make our transition right here. Yeah, that's the better. That is the better idea. So now we can get a decent 90 into that. Yeah, and then this can just come down. We may do a collector right here. I don't know. I'm going to leave most of it in place for now. I don't know that that's going to stay in any meaningful way. We're just going to bring this down within... maybe I should have thought about... Hey, it doesn't matter because those fish factories are really big. So we'll go to here with our collector. And then we're just going to come out to that edge. And I really don't want to get rid of these rocks. I like them. I think they're awesome. So I'm going to do this here. I don't want that selected anymore. Go away. There you go. Marquee select and grab just our rocks if I'm able. And then whoop, like that. And those are just going to go live over there. And we will align them to train height so they look normal. And then done. Cool. And then this I just want to come out even with that. And then for now, we're going to see. That's 720. So 360 is my halfway point on that. So that gets that done. And then we will run connections up based on that. And then we'll connect up on the end right there. And then that should hopefully leave us a room for our fish factories. We will turn anarchy off. I can get them there, but I can't get them here. They're too big. So what we'll do is make this section a little shorter. And that's fine. So instead of 360, we'll go up just 300 on this. And connect down here. And then that should leave me space for my fish factories. You just don't want them too close to the actual fishing harbors because that purple radius is pollution. And you don't want to pollute the the harbor itself, if you do, you significantly decrease your fish yields. So we will get some water pipes down through here real quick, and we'll find a way to get these connected over to the city. Looks like it's going to be a long run, so I'm going to do that real fast. There we go. We've got water run out to all of those. So now, well, come on, you have water. Stop complaining. That's electricity. Yeah, you have water. So now we just need to get some routes connected and get these guys catching some fishies. And then I'm going to go ahead and let it run and get these upgraded to the actual fish harbors I want. I just know from having put in a bunch of fish harbors that should be about 100% for its yield. Have to do a little bit bigger once we get the bigger boats, but for now this should be sufficient. We're just going to go up there like that and back down. And now we wait to catch a whole bunch of fish, but of course I'm not going to make you sit here for all of that. I'm just going to let them do their thing, catch 2 million fish, and then we'll make our final changes to this little area once I get water over here. So while I am waiting on all the harbors to catch enough fish, you can see I put in a couple warehouses. Mainly they're here for decoration. No, they are. I don't have them set to import, and they're all nearly full. It's all from this industry over here. They're all using them for storage, which is fine, I suppose. But I want to talk about access. So obviously, we want to have these guys have access to exports. We're eventually going to probably have a train station over here by the farm. But we don't want them to have to drive all that way and then back to export their products. We would ideally want them to have access across the channel here and be able to get easy access to where our cargo port is going to go and our cargo harbor port. And that's one of the reasons why I started with a road up here. But we have challenges here because since the harbor is going to sit, the harbor port is going to sit way back here, which we don't even unlock that till, you were correct, Destin, 46,000. I was looking at these 34,000. We don't unlock this for quite a while, and we've lost like 2,000 people, well, 1,500 people, while I've been playing today. So we've got a ways to go still before we even unlock this. But once we do, we're going to have boats, big cargo boats coming through there. So if we're going to bridge over that, which we could, that's certainly an option to do a bridge. But that bridge would have to be really high here. And no exaggeration, that's probably how high it would need to be. If not higher. Yeah, probably even higher than that. Do we have... Find it. Boat. Ship. Like there's a wrecked one that is an asset you can plop down. Yeah, shipwreck. But that is about how high they are. Oh, actually, that might clear it. I don't think you can raise those up. So we might be able to get a cargo ship under there. Okay, that's kind of surprising to me, to be honest. I didn't think we would be able to get it up there. I'm going to trim this down. I want the bridge to end, like, right at the edge of the land. That looks really weird, but okay. Yeah, we'll fix it. And then there, and again, looks very weird. Don't know why it did that. But we can just move it, and let's make sure all of this is the same as that. I would like my spans ideally to match. How long is this? 5760? Is that what I'm seeing? No, 5610. So there's no even number there, but it looks like we might be coming out a little more on that side than we are the other side. Because if we just divide that in half, obviously that's going to give us an 05 in there, and that's not possible. 2805. So like right about there is our midpoint for all of this. I would really, really, really like to have this just a little better balanced. So what if we do that and then run our span between these two? Do I get decent? Yeah, there we go. That's the ticket. That's what I wanted to see. Where does the channel go? Perfect. Right down the middle. Awesome. So then this is where I was going with my thoughts earlier is what's this going to be like for slopes? Maybe not all that bad because what we could do is change this into just an elevated bit instead of a truss. Is it a truss? It's a truss. I think it's a truss. I don't know. Real civil engineer would be ashamed of me. Real civil engineer doesn't know who I am. So if we slope starting there to there, 9%, and then grab that, slope that. I think I can live with 9%. I mean, it's a lot, but the only other option would be to slope all the way from here to there. 6.6, a little better. Yeah, it's a little better. All right, 6.6 it is. So let's upgrade. Let's get rid of that tool and let's upgrade that bit into a bridge. We made a very strange connection there. So let's just redo that. Make sure that's on. Toggle slope is on. Get rid of that and down, and that should be a fairly smooth slope. It looks like it does a little bit of a weird at the bottom. We can fix that. We'll just re-slope the whole thing from there to there again. There we go. Well, it's just right there. It just has like a bump to it. I don't know if that's because of the ground or what. This is a weird road with the supports between there. And then this can come around, connected to there. This can connect to there. Maybe we do like a roundabout in here to bring all these in. That's probably not a bad idea. Let's see where this wants to go. Just bring it on out quite a ways. So that wants to go there. That would intersect. Do I not have my? I do. It's just, I guess I'm far enough away that it's not showing me where that would be. Let's bring that out a little farther. And bring that on out. There, so right about there, and then we could bring this around as a curve, I think. I have to eyeball this. It doesn't want to show me any guidelines to help me, does it? Yeah, bring that around as a curve and a bridge as well. My bad. And this will all eventually be industry roads. We could even bring this up and around so that we're coming in the 90 to that, or we could bring this around to come in more of a curve to that. I think this coming around to a curve to this makes more sense. So let's back all that off. I'm going to bring this road, whoops, bring this, okay, I'm clicking all the wrong things right now. I'm going to bring that way on out. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want this connection to be. So probably coming off of this node right here. Yeah. So we are going to do that straight just for a stint. And then run that out to there, and then get rid of all of this. Switch back into our industry road. Bring this out a little bit further. about to there. And let's see what our create curve mod will do for us. It might just give me something I like. Let's go there to there, and indeed it does. Yeah, that's fine. That will work. That gets all of these areas connected. We still have a problem with where the railroad's going to live, but at least we've got a somewhat logical connection through here, and it's already getting utilized. Again, I'm hoping that by having this connection, that a lot of these trucks are wanting to go to the highway, and seeing that is the better route than coming up through this intersection. And once again, hopefully taking some of the traffic off of Main Street here. But again, gonna let this run. This is probably gonna take half hour or so for this to all catch enough fish. And then we'll get the final form of this in there and wrap it up today. Well, we didn't get everything done. We didn't get up to 3 million for that guy, which could present a problem because I think that the other... I think this is wider. I know, we can see that's wider there. I don't know if it's gonna fit there. Let's find out. Let's place the algae down. I think it's algae. Algae, yes, algae. Oh, it just fits. Beautiful. And we had a happy coincidence. So if we look at our ship line, we can see that our fishing boats are just inside of it. So perfect. So as long as I keep my new fishing lines within that area, we'll be good to go. So what I'm going to do is just kind of draw one in here and be like, don't go beyond that. And that'll kind of help me know where to go when we do our new fishing lines that are going to take the place of what we had. So that means I need to get rid of all of this. Carefully not, or maybe being careful not to delete my little barrier there. And I also think we might be able to get in one salmon harbor. Though I don't know that it's going to be all that advantageous, just given that it is the second, third one that is there. Yeah, we're going to get way more off the shellfish. We just are. And oh wow, that's lucky. Those snapped right in. So I'm thinking we could do salmon fishing even way back here and just be certain that we keep it out of the way of where the big ships are going down the middle here. But that's really tight to try to get a fishing line in. Even if I started it over here, I just don't think it's worth it, to be honest. So I'm not going to bother. What I am going to bother doing is getting our new lines in for our lovely shellfish friends here. Well, the fish themselves aren't the friends. Well, I guess since they're yummy and tasty, maybe they are. If I remember right, you gotta go fairly decent length for these larger ones here. Did that connect right? Yeah, it did. I don't have that turned on, and that's why I wasn't sure. And then this one we will bring out kind of over here to the edge of where we know our shipping lane is. And we'll start bringing it back around. I am somebody who would rather these operate right at the peak of efficiency than have them be out here for decoration, driving around. I'm trying to make efficient industries that help the city. I'm not trying to do aesthetics. So I will, now that I've got this in, check each individual line once they start kicking out boats. Maybe if I speed up time. There we go. I'm going to check each and every one of these to be sure that they're not spending any longer out in the water than they have to, and that they're all hitting 100%. So I'm going to get them all fine-tuned, and then we'll wrap things up today. And I have all 3 of them at 100%. They are pretty much, this one sometimes goes down to 99, but they are pretty much hitting the dock at 100%. You can see as these boats come in 97, 98, 99, 100. He's already at 100. He hits 100 about out there, so not exactly perfect, but close enough. So I can now get rid of this little barrier one that we had set up, because we know all of our fishing boats are safely outside of the shipping channel. And I like it when that happens, because then we don't have the big barges or the big shipping container coming through and smashing our little tiny boats. And that makes me happy. Like I said, I could potentially get one for anchovies. Is that what was back there? Salmon. Back in here, I just don't know that we need it. What I am going to do is turn on a couple policies. They're here. Oh, I already turned them on. Okay. So this does decrease our yields. Both of them. This one by 15%, but increases happiness and increases commercial income. This decreases it, but gives us another boost to happiness. And what I'll do is just keep my eye on these 3 fish factories. Yeah, they're fine. In fact, we could probably add a 4th, and they would be all right, because we've got a lot of fish coming in. So I am going to do that. And eventually we'll put in a fish market somewhere. I don't know where just yet. We'll figure that out. We do need, and this is something I always struggle with the fishing industry DLC, is what do I put down here by the docks to fill this in? I can't do industry because it will cause pollution. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We can do some generic industry up in this way, and we may do that at some point. I don't know that we're going to need this stuff. Actually, this stuff is something. When we get to 34,000, I'm going to relocate our waste processing out here. It doesn't pollute very much with that large one. Plus, we are teetering right on the edge of needing to upgrade that anyway. So I think that'd be kind of a nice place to have that, to put that. So we're looking pretty good. The only thing that I didn't get to do was upgrade to the final seaweed farm. And that's just it's another big jump over this. I just don't know if it's going to fit there. We may have to shift everything over a little bit, but I think we're looking pretty doggone good. What I want to do is grab one of these little boats right here and go in first person. Not the best view, but we get to go out on the water and say, until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.